Hi, my name is Adriana, and today is my Booktube birthday. So yes, today, the day I'm filming this, April 1st, is my channel's 1-year anniversary. I posted my first video, April 1st of 2020, a review on The Last Odyssey, which I believe is somewhere right there. I posted a review of this book on my channel a year ago. Today isn't the day I'm filming this, not the day you're seeing this. And because I just kind of posted a book review and knew nothing about Booktube, I ended up never doing the Booktube Newbie tag. So I thought it might be kind of fun, 1 year later, to try to answer the questions as I would have had I actually done this when I was supposed to. So I have the questions right here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first question is, why did you start this channel? That was pretty easy for me. I had just received this book, the James Rowland's The Last Odyssey ARC, from a giveaway on Goodreads, and I had kind of been watching Booktube more and more, so I was interested in seeing if anybody else was kind of talking about James Rowland's in general and this book more specifically. And when I looked on Booktube, I saw that there was one video about a James Rowland's novel, and it was from a couple years ago, and the guy doesn't even run his channel anymore. So I thought it might be fun to just post a review on this book, see if I could garner, like-minded readers. The other reason I started this channel is because I was bored. I started working from home halfway through March, and so not having to drive into work and not being able to go anywhere or do anything definitely aided in me deciding to start this channel. The next question is, what fun and unique things do you bring? At the time, I probably would have said some of the books I'm reading, but now I think what actually draws people to my channel is my dog. He is quietly sitting over there. I don't think you're gonna get him this go round, but I think a lot of people really like my dog. I'll put in a picture of him somewhere. So question number 3 is, what are you most excited for this channel? And I think at the time I definitely would have said, meeting like-minded people, having discussions about my favorite books, and that has held true. I have not met, but I have interacted with so many fun people through comments and tags and book Twitter, and I love everybody that I've talked to, everybody who comments on my book reviews. I've just had a great time. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? And like everyone else, I love to escape into different worlds. I also love the kind of mental effects of reading. When I took a big gap from reading, from basically when I graduated high school to a couple years after I graduated college. So from 2012 to 2017-ish, 18-ish, I really didn't read a whole lot. And I started noticing my memory starting to go away and my vocabulary dwindled. And now that I'm back into reading, I just feel a lot more sharp mentally. And I think it just helps me to maintain being a well-rounded person. I work in a very technical field, so being able to escape into something that's more art-based and creative. I read a lot of fiction, fantasy, romance, so just being able to escape into a more creative world, I think is really nice. Question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? I talked a little bit about this in my fantasy reader tag, but I really got into reading from a very young age. My dad would read me Louis L'Amour books, my mom would read me Nancy Drew books. I got into Magic Treehouse, any sort of chapter book that I could get my hands on. I was the perfect age for when the Harry Potter movies came out, so I would have been, I think I was 7 or 8 when the first movie came out, and that's when I started reading the series and got super into that. Later on, Percy Jackson. So I definitely followed the same trajectories I think a lot of people my age did as far as getting into reading and falling in love with reading as a whole. Question number 6 is, what questions would you like to ask your favorite booktubers? And I think when I started my channel, I really only watched like big booktubers like Read with Cindy, Peruse Project, Extine May, or Christine May. Or I guess, what is she, Poland Banana? Whatever. Like, Christine. We all know who she is. And I don't know if I'd really have any questions for them. I'm always the kind of person who just likes to jump into things feet first and figure everything out on my own, which I mostly did. I don't know. I don't know if I'd really have any questions for them besides book recommendations. I don't know. They already have videos on that. I don't know. I've never been very good at asking for help. Question number 7 is, what challenges do you think will be hardest to overcome? And definitely for me, it has been kind of the time management and planning out my videos. When I first started, basically all the videos I posted in 2020 are very sporadic. I would post like 2 in a week and then I would take like a 2-month gap. And so starting in January of this year, I've been a lot better about posting just once a week and keeping my videos planned out well in advance so that I have plenty of time to film and edit, because I do work a full-time job and I do a lot of things with my friends on the weekends, and so making sure that I'm planning things well in advance to give me time to actually produce the videos has definitely been the most difficult thing to try to balance and figure out. Question number 8 is, when did you start reading? And I think that's definitely kind of depends on what you call when I started reading. Like I said, my parents read to me when I was a little kid. Nancy Drew, Louis L'Amour. We had, Hungry Hungry Caterpillar and whatnot. So I think as early as like kindergarten, when you first start learning to read, my parents and I would like take turns reading out of like picture books. And then of course I talked about kind of my reading gap. I just started reading again in 2017 after taking a break during college and grad school. I guess I kind of have 2 answers. So like when I was like in kindergarten in like 2000, and then again I started reading in like 2017. Question number 9 is, where do you read? I typically read before bed, so I'll read a lot in my bed. I also really enjoy reading on the couch. If the weather is nice, I'll read outside on our patio. If we're at my partner's family's lake house, I'll read outside by the lake. I mean, I'll read anywhere. I love reading on planes. I get so much reading done on planes. I used to travel a lot for work and I got a lot of reading done on plane rides. Question number 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? And I mean, I'll throw up my pie chart of my genre breakdown from 2020, but I think I read pretty genre diverse. Let me look at what kind of books I've kept. I've got some classics up here, got some fantasy, some speculative fiction. I'm now getting into kind of like nonfiction history, nonfiction science. I'm pretty willing to try almost any book, and I think I have a book I've really enjoyed in almost every single genre. So I wouldn't really say that I narrow myself down by genre of any sort. Finally, the last question is, what does your book collection look like? So I'll kind of step over to the side, but I recently set up this bookshelf. I have a vlog where I built it and organized it. I don't keep very many books because I tend to get books from the library on my e-reader. So this is actually what my book collection looks like, is just this one e-reader where I was buying books for a while and then discovered the library and Libby and Overdrive, and now borrow so many books from my local library. So I probably only have like 50 books on this bookshelf, but I think I probably have like another 30 ebooks in my e-reader, and then of course The library has like almost infinite books based on different resources that you can use. I'm trying to keep my book collection small and support my local library and reduce the amount of paper that I keep in my life. Alright, so that is the end of the Booktube newbie tag 1 year later. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.